When landlords renovate these old buildings, these pre-1960 buildings, and they don't use safe work practices, they contaminate the building with dust full of lead. We know it's a problem that the entire city faces. We feel like it's a problem basically that people just don't know enough about to call 311 and get the test results to prove it's happening. We're also out here to basically compliment the council, the city council, for doing a lot this year. They came out and introduced 23 new laws that will reform the way lead is handled, lead safety in New York City. We also want to implore them to kind of stay strong during this process of negotiation that we know that happens after the council hearing.
The city needs to improve its enforcement around lead, especially with regard to holding landlords accountable for following safe work practices for performing construction in buildings built before 1960.
People don't have the information. They don't know who to call. Whether you're a child, you're expecting, you're a senior citizen, you are at risk. And so for all of us to come together to organize, it is so incredibly important because there are a lot of people, again, who cannot tell their story.
And we also need to change the status quo because fighting these issues should not be an uphill battle every single time. And to that end, I just want to highlight two pieces of legislation. One is Intro 873, which would require landlords to permanently remove lead paint. And the other is Intro 874 that calls for interagency cooperation that would allow the city to put a stop work order when construction blows lead dust particles into anyone's home.
So from here, we're going to march over to 57 2nd Avenue. So if you want to follow the turkey, we're going to head up Ludlow Street to Houston and cross Houston at the corner of Ludlow.
When do we want it? Now! What do we want? When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Now!
From negligent landlords.
Right.
If I went to your home and unleashed a vial of poison, I would be put in prison.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. Yet landlords are repeatedly poisoning tenants in New York City.
The DOB, the way these agencies work, is going to be suited to these problems. They're just not suited to these problems right now. They're suited to dealing with things like normal building violations, not to dealing with health issues that are going to be really long term. Lead dust is a very dangerous chemical that stays with you forever, basically. It gets in your blood, and then it gets in your bone marrow, and then it's almost impossible to get out.
The dust was literally coming into everybody's apartment from the outside of the building back in. And like in my apartment, there were like 40 holes in the wall from when they were doing the reconstruction of next door. So everything just keeps on like blowing in. We need the laws to be reinforced. That's it.
Madison Realty Capital is now our de facto landlord. 13 months after that episode I described, they sent workers in here one morning to clear out the debris from that prior year's demolition that was being stored in one of the empty apartments. What do you think happened? Dust was raised.
More lead dust. Ain't right.
Dust was raised. We called 311, the Department of Health came, they swabbed, they tested, it came back with elevated lead levels. So this is still going on. Local Law 1 of 2004 is not being enforced. We don't think any laws are being enforced when this kind of work is undertaken.
Breathe in, let us, you just might. Walking by a demo site. Breathe in, let us, you just might. Walking by a demo site. Breathe in, let us, you just might. Walking by a demo site. Breathe in, let us, you just might. Walking by a demo site. Breathe in, let us, you just might. Walking by a demo site. Breathe in, let us, you just might.